Okay, so I already did the first one, but I screwed up on the second one, so I just decided to go ahead and start over. Okay, so tangent we talked about last time was the opposite over adjacent, or on the unit circle, it's the x value over the y value. Sorry, the y value over the x value. Almost messed up again. Okay, so draw your triangle. There's 315. If you don't remember how to draw those, you need to go back and watch some other videos first. Okay, so because it's 45, 45, 90 triangle, both are medium length. Only one of them is negative. So the y value would be negative square root of 2 over 2. Then the x value would be a positive square root of 2 over 2. Or in other words, negative 1. Cosecant of 210. Well, I already have 210 drawn, so it's up here. Cosecant is 1 over sine, and sine is the y value. So it's 1 over the y value. So here's the y value. Notice it's the shorter leg, so the short value is 1/2. Only here it's negative. So it's negative 1/2, and then flip that upside down, and you get negative 2. Sine of negative 90. Remember, a negative angle means we go counterclockwise. So negative 90 is right there. That's the point 0 and negative 1. Sine is the y value, so it's negative 1. Secant of 300. 300 is over here. If I make a triangle, secant would be 1 over the cosine, so 1 over x. Sorry, that's the y value there. So the x value is small here. Apparently my handwriting is too. So it's going to be 1 over that, so that's 1 over, and then the small value is 1/2. Or in other words, 2. 1 over 1/2. Alright, cosecant of 210. Hey, I've still got 210 drawn up here. Cosecant would be 1 over the sine, which is 1 over y. And the y value is small and negative, so that's 1 over negative 1/2, or negative 2. Yep, those are the same. Okay, cool. Negative 270 degrees, that's the same as positive 90 degrees, 0, 1. Cotangent, x over y, that's 0 divided by 1, which is 0. Okay, sine of 330. 330, right there. Make a right triangle. Sine is the y value. That's over here. It's negative and it's short, so it's just negative 1/2. Remember, you don't need to divide by the hypotenuse because it has a length of 1 all the time. Okay, cosine of 510. Uh-oh. Bigger than 360, so count around 360, and then it's another 150 past that. So in other words, it's coterminal with 150, right there. So that's a 30, 60, 90. Cosine is the x value here, that is negative and long. So that's negative square root of 3 over 2. Sine of 150. Hey, I've still got it drawn. Sine is the y value. It's small and it's positive, so 1/2. Apparently I'm off the screen. See you later. Alright. So sine of 150 is the opposite side, right? The y value, in other words, and it's short, so it's 1/2. Okay, tangent of 135. Don't have that one drawn yet, so let's do that. There it is. That's 45 away from 180, so it's a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Tangent is the y over the x. The y value here is medium. The x value is medium and negative. So in other words, it's the y value square root of 2 over 2 divided by negative square root of 2 over 2, which reduces to negative 1. Secant of 315. 315, right there. Now I didn't draw it very well. It's exactly halfway in between 270 and 360, so that's going to be it's 45 degrees away from 360, so it's a 45, 45, 90 triangle. And secant is 1 over the cosine, or 1 over x. And it's going to be medium and positive, so that's 1 over square root of 2 over 2. 1 over the square root of 2 over 2. So 1 over the square root of 2 over 2 is going to be 2 over the square root of 2, but you would have to simplify, and you just end up with the square root of 2. Sine of 585. So to find a simpler angle, subtract 360, so that'd be 225. That's right there. 45, 45, 90 triangle. Medium and medium. Sine is the y value, so it's negative and medium. So negative square root of 2 over 2. Sine of 240. Do I have that one drawn yet? No? Okay, so 240 right there. Sine is the y value, which is the long leg, and it's negative, so it's negative square root of 3 over 2. Tangent of 150, I think I have that drawn yet. Tangent is the x over the y, or sorry, the y over the x. Wow. That's like 3 times now. Okay. Y over x, short over long, so that's 1/2 over negative square root of 3 over 2. The 2's cancel, that's negative 1 over the square root of 3, and then you have to rationalize it, and you get negative square root of 3 over 3. Remember, rationalize it means, here, I'll just work this one out. Multiply by the square root of 3 on the top and on the bottom. So negative square root of 3 on top, 3 on bottom. Okay, if you need to see more of those simplified, then you go back and watch the homework previous to this one. All right, now let's think in radians. Okay, so cosine of 5 pi over 3. First, I need to graph that, and it might help to think about this as 10 pi over 6. So count by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right there. Cosine is the x value, that's short and positive 1/2. Tangent, 7 pi over 6. So again, count in sixths. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Same as 210 right there. Tangent is y over x. Got it right that time. That's negative and short. That's negative and long. So it is negative 1/2 divided by negative square root of 3 over 2. That's the same as the one we just worked through down here. So it's going to work out to a positive because it's a negative over negative square root of 3 over 3. Sine of 3 pi over 2. Where's 3 pi over 2? Well, it's right there. Count in halves of pi. So there's 1/2 of pi, 2 halves of pi, 3 halves of pi. It's not a triangle, so it's got coordinates. Sine is the y value. The y value there is negative 1. Cosecant of 11 pi over 3, which we'll call, write it in sixths, 22 pi over 6. So I'm going to go ahead and count around once. That's 12 over 6, and then 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 over 6, 19, 20, 21, 22. It's that one. Cosecant is 1 over the y value, and the y value here is negative and long. So it's 1 over negative square root of 3 over 2, because that's the long number. So flip it upside down, rationalize it, and you get negative 2 square root of 3 over 3. What about cosine of 4 pi over 3? Well, that's 8 pi over 6. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pi over 6. I've got a long leg and a short leg. The short one is the x value, so I'll put an s for short, and it's negative, so it's negative 1/2. Tangent of 15 pi over 4. Alright, so let's make one trip around. That's 8 pi over 4. then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Make a right triangle. That's 45, 45, 90. Both sides are medium. Tangent is y over x. So the y is medium and negative. The x is medium and positive. So you're going to get -1. Secant of 11 pi over 6. Okay, so secant 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And secant is 1 over cosine, which is the x value, and that's long and positive. So it's 1 over the square root of 3 over 2, which is 2 square root of 3 over 3. Sine, negative, which means I'm counting this way, 4 pi over 6. So count by sixths, 1, 2, 3, 4, and count this way, right there. Sine is the y value, it's long, and it is negative. So negative square root of 3 over 2. Cosine of 5 pi over 6. Alright, so 5 pi over 6. Count by sixths, that's the clock, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cosine is the x value, it is long, and it is negative. Negative square root of 3 over 2. Cotangent of 11 pi over 6. I feel like I just drew this one. Yeah, up there. Okay, so cotangent would be x over y. So long over the y value would be short and negative. So that's square root of 3 over 2 divided by 1/2. Negative 1/2 on the bottom. That's a square root of 3. So the 2's here will cancel, and you're just left with square root of 3 and negative. So negative square root of 3. Cosecant of 3 pi over 4. There's 3 pi over 4. It's a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So both sides are medium. Cosecant is 1 over the y value. So the y value here is medium and positive. So that's 1 over the square root of 2 over 2. That's the medium value. And when you flip it upside down and simplify it, you just get the square root of 2. Cotangent of 5 pi over 2. So count by halves of pi here. There's 1/2, 2 halves, 3 halves, 4 halves, 5 halves. So it's straight up and down. Cotangent would be the x value divided by the y value. So the x value is 0. The y value is 1. So 0 divided by 1 is 0. Sine of pi over 6. Well, pi over 6 is right there, 30 degrees. So sine is the sine is the y value, S-Y-N, sine, which is short and positive, so positive 1/2. Cotangent of 2 pi over 6. 2 pi over 6 would be right there. Draw that better. 2 pi over 6 would be right there. Cotangent is the x over the y. The x is short and positive. The y is long and positive. So it's short over long. 1/2 over the square root of 3 over 2, which reduces to 1 over the square root of 3, which simplifies like this to the square root of 3 over 3. And it'll be positive in this case because you've got a positive over a positive. And then the last one, sine of 14 pi over 3, I'll call it 28 sixths. So I'm going to make one trip around. That's 12 out of 6. That's 2 pi. 12 pi over 6. 2 trips around. That's 24 pi over 6. And then I'll keep counting from there. 25, 26, 27, 28 pi over 6. Right there. Sine is the y value, which is long and positive. So the square root of 3 over 2. All right. If you have any questions about that, let me know. I'll do the back page for an extra set of problems for next time. Okay, so you can save the back page for next time. Extra practice. Right, there you go. So again, let me know if you have any questions. If you are still having trouble finding angles, you need to go back and look at the first set of homework from this chapter, from this unit. And if you're still having trouble reducing these fractions, you need to go back and look at the second homework, the 4.3 homework, part 1. That would be reducing fractions. And then 4.2 homework was finding angles. That's right. I forgot about the first lesson, which was solving right triangles and all that stuff. So again, drawing angles was 4.2. Then 4.3a, or day 1, whatever I called it, is making these fractions and simplifying them. Okay? And then this is 4.3b, using your unit circle to find all of the sine and cosine values. Right?